I'm Genevieve Romero with Care First California. We're an alliance of community organizations, directly impacted people, state and national advocacy groups, and civil rights advocates who seek to replace the carceral system with a system of care that provides support and care for all people in need. The demand to close prisons intersects movements and communities. It's an environmental justice issue, a social justice issue, a racial justice issue, and it's a gender justice issue. Women and gender non-conforming people are the fastest growing incarcerated population. Prisons prevent access to reproductive choice, from forced sterilization, family separation, to even being chained while giving birth. Women and gender non-conforming people are denied their right to choose. So if we care about children and families, then we must end incarceration and close prisons. We also know that the majority of people incarcerated in California are actually pre-trial. That means that people are being held while still considered legally innocent. So what happened to our ideal of being innocent until proven guilty? Folks are being expected to fight their cases while still experiencing the trauma of being inside of a cell. Money bail, risk assessments, and lack of access to essential services like housing, healthcare, and transportation is forcing families into this inescapable cycle. And our communities need resources and care, not cages. That is why Care First California has joined together to promote comprehensive pretrial change through our legislative model, preserving the presumption of innocence, which will end money bail, reject risk assessments, dramatically reduce the number of people eligible for pretrial incarceration, guarantee due process rights, and develop community-based pretrial services that are completely independent of law enforcement. By funding pretrial services and preserving the presumption of innocence, we can interrupt the cycles of violence caused by incarceration, support families, and close more jails and prisons. California's own penal code says that the criminal justice policies that rely on building and operating more prisons to address community safety concerns are not sustainable and will not result in improved public safety. So even the penal code of California knows that prisons don't keep people safe. We need transformative interventions when harm and violence happen, but prisons have proven to be ineffective. Incarceration just creates more isolation after harm has already occurred, failing to address the root causes of that harm in our communities. It is our moral and ethical obligation to find a better way. We know that closing prisons is good for public safety. Despite fear-mongering from conservatives, many Democrats, and other tough-on-crime politicians, California property and violent crime rates are actually the lowest that they've been in about 60 years. And that's because of what we already know, that resources make our community safe. Closing prisons will help us fund what we really need to create a safe California for us all. Thorough and supportive reentry infrastructure to help folks secure employment, healthcare and housing, and services that support survivors like trauma care, health services, and financial support, even comprehensive mental health treatment without police or prisons. When we invest in resources for our communities, we can interrupt the cycles of violence caused by incarceration and criminalization. Addressing the root causes of why harm happens is the real solution that we need, not imprisonment or policing. So we must pass preserving the presumption of innocence, invest in pretrial services, and support our families. Close California prisons for good and build the world we want by investing in our communities first. Thank you.